Let's do this. Buen?
Okay.
Buenrostro. Oh, God.
Rostro. Rostro.
Buenrostro.
There you go. Great. You got it.
That took so much active thought. That took so much.
You got it.
All right. Who is Denette Buenrostro?
Buenrostro. Okay, how about just Denette?
Podcast and stuff. We just started. You already got the smile. We ain't even do nothing yet. We ain't even
I know.
But yeah. No, that's good. That means you happy. Because I did one, and I said it in the last podcast, so I won't talk about it again. But sometimes they're not happy. Which is funny because they said yes. So it's like,
not like it was a shock that they were going to
I think they weren't.
be there.
I don't know. They just didn't want to do it, which would have been nice if you just said you didn't want to do it.
Right.
But you know what's amazing?
What's that?
Now I feel hot.
I know. We turned off the
Now
fan.
I noticed it. Like, I got so spoiled by it.
I'm trying not to think about it.
But once we get into it, we'll get into it. But here's the first question.
Okay.
Who am I here with today?
Well, you're here with Denette Buenrostro.
When you texted me that, I was like, I don't even know how to say that. Like, at the gate.
Try spelling it in kindergarten.
But
Yeah.
look, you probably can spell real good now, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now
there
I
you
can.
go.
I got
See,
my
the
memory,
burden
yeah.
becomes the strength.
That's right.
See, flipping it. But who is Denette Buenrostro?
Buenrostro.
Buenrostro.
You're Hispanic. You
I
know how
know.
to say it. You
Pero
gotta
yo no
roll
hablo
your
español.
Buen. Si hablas español. Buen.
Bien?
No, not bien. Buen.
When?
Buen.
Buen?
Oh my gosh.
Let's do this. This will be a
Okay.
Let's do this. Buen?
Okay.
Buenrostro. Oh, God.
Rostro. Rostro.
Buenrostro.
There you go. Great. You got
That
it.
took so much active thought. That took so much.
You got it.
All right. Who is Denette Buenrostro?
Buenrostro. Okay, how about just Denette?
Denette.
Let me
Who
get
is
easy.
Denette? Who is Denette?
You know, that's a great question because the Denette today is not the same Denette from a couple of years ago. And I had an interview not too long ago with the most incredible woman, Teresa Garza, who's a filmmaker, producer. You know her very well. She's a very dear friend as well. And she asked me the same question. And I went through the whole spiel of, well, I'm a wife, I'm a mother,
That's the
grandmother.
same question. Oh, come on, man. Really?
Just that
I have to
one.
get that patented. I was
She asked me, well, who is Denette? And, I went through my whole routine of mom, wife, grandma, everything. But finally, when I thought about it as I was speaking, Denette is the phoenix that has arisen from the ashes. And I have a great story.
Do it. That's the whole point
Great
of that
story.
question, so that you, because it can go onward.
Yeah.
That was like the only question I asked Jorge, and then he just went, boop.
Well, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for probably about 20-something years now. First as an LVN, licensed vocational nurse, and then as an RN now for about 11 years. And a couple of years ago, probably about 6 years ago to be exact, I had talked to my husband and I told him, I'm tired of the day-to-day nursing, driving, doing all this stuff for other people. I want to create my own business for us as a family. My husband's a successful businessman and he had his own business, but I wanted something for me, something that my kids could be able to look up to me and say, wow, look what mom's created. And, I wanted to show them, I wanted to be a role model for them. I wanted to show them the only way to be successful is through hard work and determination. So I met another nurse that was actually working with me at the time. And he said he had a business with vascular access, which means nurses will start either IV catheters or other types of lines in patients that need antibiotics or fluids if they're dehydrated. And he said he had this business and that's what he was doing. And I knew it was a very lucrative type of business to be involved in, but I knew that it was a very specialized skill that a nurse, needed. It's not something that they teach you in nursing school. It's something separate outside of that. So I mentioned it to my husband, and I told him about this nurse, and, I said, I'd love for you to meet him. And, I told him a little bit about him, and my husband was like, no, absolutely not. He said, he goes, I don't think that he's the right person to get involved with. So probably it took a while to convince my husband to meet with him. And when he did, my husband was like, this guy is a mess. Okay. I don't think we should get involved. But, the wife at home always wants to, convince her husband otherwise of, to do things. And so anyway, he listened to me. And so long story short, we had a business together for a couple of months, maybe about 6 months or so. And the money started coming in. I mean, it was amazing, the hard work that was being put into it. My husband mentored both of us because both of us were nurses. We weren't business people. And business took off. Well, after my business partner met a woman, his whole life changed, and not for the better. Okay, not for the better. She was not a good influence on him. And so one night at dinner, my husband and I we were at dinner, and the business that he had, one of the ladies called him and said that my ex-business partner, now at the time, my partner, was loading up everything from our office into a U-Haul truck. Because our office was right across the parking lot from my husband's office. And so by the time we got there, he had wiped out the whole office. Everything was gone, the rugs and the chairs and the computers.
This is unbeknownst to you?
Unbeknownst to us. Yeah. And so we called the police. Police were like, there's nothing we can do. It's a civil matter. It's the weekend. You have to wait till Monday. Yeah, it's the weekend. Can you believe that?
Crime don't count.
Crime doesn't count during the weekend.
It ain't Monday.
You have to wait on Monday. I'm like, are you kidding me? So we went back on Sunday to the office because I had this weird feeling because there was some more stuff in there that I thought we should probably take with us, but we didn't. And when we got there on Sunday, he had broken in again and had taken the remainder of the things that were in there. He had also gotten into the bank account and had taken everything out of the bank account. Now, a lot of that was my husband's money. A lot of that belonged to another investor. And I was beyond myself. I could not believe that someone that I thought I trusted would do something so horrible and so sneaky. I mean, why can't you just say, hey, let's not work together anymore? Let's go in different directions. I would have understood that, but to just downright steal in the middle of the night when knowing that we weren't there is just amazing to me. So we ended up going to court, and an injunction was filed against him. He was supposed to, put the money back. He was supposed to not practice his skill. He's not supposed to have a business, not supposed to change the name of the company, and he did by adding one extra little word in the middle of the two, which was very obvious. But anyway, after about 2 months of crying and literally not wanting to get out of bed because I felt so ashamed. I was upset that I disappointed my husband. I convinced him that I wanted to do this. And then look what happened. You and I were talking about our intentions and the feeling and emotion that we put behind them when we say we want something. But just because we want it doesn't mean that it's the best thing for us. And sometimes we have those flags and we ignore those flags because we're like, no, I'm going to ignore that. And because this is what I want, I have to stay focused. I'm mission oriented. I'm going to get this done. I don't care who says what. And then look what happened. Okay. So I was ashamed. I was so upset. So, one night, my husband came into the room and he's like, enough is enough. I need you to get up. I need you to, I don't care what you do, but you need to get up and get out of the house. He's like, you need to do something with yourself. He's like, this is enough feeling sorry for yourself. I can't deal with this anymore. You are not the woman that I married. You're prior military, you're a nurse, you're always so positive. And I told him, I'm like, I feel like I failed you. I failed the kids, because they're seeing what happened. They were all excited about the business. And then they're like, what do you mean he stole everything? you know? And so anyway, we're having this conversation and my husband's like, this is a journey that I can't take with you. I will hold your hand, but I can't force you to get up and go do something. It's got to come from within yourself. So in the background was playing Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk, and I just love Bruno. Bruno, if you're listening, I love you. No, I'm kidding.
Never know.
I love my husband more, but I love Bruno. But
Number
anyway,
two.
Uptown Funk was playing, and I know you know the lyric that says, "Don't believe me, just watch." And that and my husband both talking to me at the same time just like lit a fire up, and I've been unstoppable ever since. I have been the phoenix that arose from the ashes, truly, in every sense of the word. I have taken a horrible situation, and now believe me, this is not something that happened overnight. This took years.
Yeah.
This took years to get to the point that I'm going to tell you that I'm at right now, is the point of not feeling hatred for a person. And I'm not that kind of person. I've heard people say, oh, I hate her, or I hate him. And, they say it, but they don't mean it. Yeah, they may, but, I don't really truly feel that I've ever truly hated anybody until this situation happened to me. And I truly can tell you that in every sense of the word, down to my soul and my core, I know what that word hate means. And so having to struggle with turning all of that emotion that was negative and destructive and trying to twist it and say, if I can spend, like you and I were talking earlier, if I can spend this much of my energy and this much time feeling this way, what could happen if I turned it into a positive way, and a positive feeling and a positive emotion? What could I do? Because I know what I'm thinking right now, and I know what I feel like doing. But what would it be in the opposite? So it took a lot of soul searching, a lot of...
What, did you do anything like to create the soul searching, or it's just time over time?
It was time. It was a lot of reading of books. I can't even tell you the names of the books that I read because there were so many, and it wasn't even reading the full book. It was picking different chapters and just reading things. It was spending time in my closet with the lights off on my knees and just shutting my eyes.
You can do the dark room.
Not too dark. I have to have a little bit of light
just a glimmer,
just a little bit of glimmer, so that I feel safe in there. But I learned about my relationship with God. I really did, because I was raised in going to a private school from kinder all the way up to
everything for me too.
Everything
till high school.
Till high school, yeah. Through 12th
so college,
grade,
I guess, is
through
my
college.
first normal.
I spent 1 year at a Catholic university.
So you kept going.
Yeah, I kept going, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. So, getting back into my faith and trusting that everything was going to be okay, because God always has my back. I don't care what I've done or how far away I've strayed.
Yeah.
He has always had my back. Now, I may not agree with the direction that he puts me in or the people that he brings into my life to teach me lessons. I may not agree with that. And I'm going to tell you, I'll be perfectly honest. I was very angry with God during that time. Extremely angry, because I thought to myself, I'm a good person. I'm a hard worker. I'm doing this with the right intention. And how could you let this happen to me? How? What? What did I do to you? But then, as time started going on and I started reading and just soul searching from within myself, the answer started to come, and said, the answer to me was, he wasn't supposed to be a part of what you're doing right now. He was just there to get you familiar with the idea. But then I had to cause something traumatic to happen for you guys to separate from one another, so that you could go on and do great and wonderful things.
Change the narrative for yourself.
Exactly. But that was hard to accept, because I was still angry. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get what you're telling me. But dang, did it have to be that dramatic? I mean, really? And then the answer came to me again later was, yeah, it had to be that dramatic, because, Denette, you don't listen. Remember those flags?
Yeah.
That I showed you? Yeah, well, you ignored them. Okay, so because you ignored them, I had to get your attention. So that's what he did.
Damn. After you come to that, then what makes you go on to the, I'm going to just do it. I'm assuming you do it on your own then, right? After that?
Well, my husband has always been my mentor. He's a great man, but he's also been my mentor in business and in life. And he has guided me through this whole thing. So we restarted the company together. And
that happens like immediately, I guess, after you come to that realization?
The realization part of it, did not happen immediately.
No. I mean, so you start in the business. Once you come to that realization, you change the narrative. Is that when you're ready to go to start the business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was. But it was still a work in progress because I still had my moments. I was out teaching nurses how to place IV catheters. But I was still angry. And it took years to get over that anger of, the whole situation. But every day it was a struggle every day to think of the positive and where I was going, because I knew why it had happened. We had to separate for me to be able to go on and do great and amazing things, not just for myself and for my family, but I've realized over the years for other people as well, that he could not have been a part of because he's not that kind of person. The business took off within a year or two. And then my husband and I talked about franchising our concept, and we did.
McDonald's style.
Yeah, McDonald's style.
I don't know, I feel like that's the first thing that always comes to mind when I hear franchise.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that whole origin story is.
Yes. Did you see that movie?
I did. It's kind of sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. But
shout out to the law.
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The concept that we created, though, was to be able to allow other nurses to leave that hospital job and to actually work for themselves. And so I'm happy to say we have at least 60 locations now throughout the U.S. of nurses owning their own businesses. And so it's things like that then make me realize that what I went through really was all worth it. And believe me, it's taken me all of 5 years to be able to say that directly to you right now.
Damn.
It's taken all of 5 years. Out of that situation as well, too, during the time that was going on, that we were restarting the company, actually it was before we started the company. I remember my mom always telling me, if nothing else, put some lipstick on your mouth before you leave the house. It will change your whole outlook on your day, I promise you. So I am a huge makeup fan. I have all kinds, you name it, all kinds. And so I went into my bathroom and I pulled out my bottom drawer that was filled with lipsticks, and I started pulling out one at a time and looking at the names of the colors, and they were so ridiculous. Vamp, Vixen, Latte. I can't even think of the names right now, but stuff that just did not make me feel better about myself. I really liked the colors, but the words meant nothing to me. I'm like, this is not the total package. And I remember I was so angry. I pulled the drawer out and I just dumped it out all over the floor. And I thought, this is what I've been wasting my money on. Beautiful colors, but nothing that has a meaning behind it. I'm like, how stupid am I for doing that? Well, guess what happened after I said that? I heard a voice that said, create your own cosmetic line and name them words to empower women.
Oh, man.
Okay. And so you know what my first response was to that? Oh, crap. Now I'm hearing voices. I'm like, how am I going to tell my husband now I'm hearing things? As a nurse, you don't want to hear voices. You know what I mean? Because as a nurse, you know what that means if you're hearing voices, you know? So,
are you like really hearing the voices? Because I feel like for this year, this is the first year where I'm starting to become more aware of, maybe it's the gut feeling, but maybe it's a voice too. And I'm trying to like always listen to it now this year, because I feel like I spent a lot of my life not listening to it. So like, is it really like the voice? Like
it was a voice, because, and then I sat, after I heard it, I was like, oh crap. And I thought, okay, well, that wasn't my voice.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, where did that even come from? Because that's not something that I would even think about. I don't even know what does that mean?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So I ignored it. And I got all the lipsticks, threw everything away. every day after that, I don't care what I was doing, I would hear it.
On your mind.
I would hear it. Create the cosmetic line and name it words to empower women. I'm like, who's saying this to me? So I Google, okay, how to start a cosmetic line to empower women. Well, there's nothing there. Nothing.
Yeah, you Googled it in detail.
In detail.
Not even cosmetic
because I'm like,
line.
no, I'm like, exactly. Because I'm like, okay, maybe this time I need to be specific in what I'm looking for. So no, there's nothing out there like that I could find.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So it kept on eating at me. And I'm like, finally, okay, I've got to what do I do? How do I do this? So I contacted some color labs and pitched them my idea. I'm like, I don't know where this came from, but this is what I'm supposed to do. Can you help me? And some of them were kind of like, we've never heard of that before. No.
Yeah.
We do private label. You can name it something else. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to do. This is bugging me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found a color lab. I pitched them my idea and they're like, that is amazing. We love that concept. Let's try it. So that's how Buenrostro by Epic was created. It's a cosmetic line that empowers women. And all of my cosmetics, the names are words that have been inspirational to me and that have gotten me through this 5-year journey of self-awareness and positivity. They're beautiful because they're the total package. They're not just a beautiful color, but they have a meaning behind them. When a woman pulls one of my cosmetics out of her bag, whether it be an eyeshadow palette or a lipstick, they're going to look at that and they're going to say, you know what? Today is all or nothing. Or today I'm closing contracts. Today I'm like a boss. Today I'm undefeatable. I mean, the words just started coming out and I was writing them all down and I gave them to the color lab and we created some amazing things together. And so again, something great and wonderful has come out of such a horrible situation. And
are you using it now?
I am. I've got Trailblazer on right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that a lot of times women are afraid to be the first one out there to promote either themselves or their business. And so they kind of sit in the background waiting for other women to get up there and see how they're going to do first to see if they fail. And if they do, then they're like, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't try it. Or if somebody does go out there and succeed, they're like, oh, yep, I'm hanging around her. So I was already like, you know what? What do I have to lose? I'm going to go out there, I'm going to promote it, and I'm going to continue to promote it. Every lipstick that I have put in a woman's hand, and they look at the name of it, it means something to them. And that makes me happy. And so I think when you do things for the right reason, then you will be successful.
Yeah, no, man, that's awesome because it's just everything affects us, every environment. So like something that we're doing all the time now is just extra little stimulus added. Oh, Trailblazer, and like even if they just overlook it and they just like the color, they're still feeding that into their subconscious, so it'll still like have an impact on them in some way.
Absolutely.
Like further down the road, whatever,
Right now in our world, I feel that there are so many wonderful, amazing women out there, and they're not being looked up to. Instead, there are those women out there on the reality TV shows. Yeah. Okay.
I know what comes to mind. I'm not going to mention any. I know what comes to that.
And I'm not going to lie, I've watched them before. But sitting there and watching them, I watch them for different reasons. Yeah. I don't watch them for the drama. I watch them for the clothes and for the makeup and those kinds of things.
You don't got to justify it, man.
I'm just saying.
You like what you like, man. This is a no judgment art zone, all right?
But what I couldn't stand were the relationships that these women had with one another. The backstabbing, the name calling.
Do you think that's real or do you think that's for the TV?
Some of it, I wonder if it's real. Some of them, you can kind of tell by their expressions that they're really angry. Their face gets all red. I don't know. Maybe they're great actresses. Maybe not. But
and maybe the more important question is it doesn't even matter if it's real or not because it's still the message that's being said to everybody else. It's the message that's being portrayed.
And young girls see that. And, young girls want to be like whomever they see on television if they don't have a great role model at home. Yeah. And so I've said it before. My relationship that I have with women that are in my life are healthy relationships. My best friend is an incredible woman. Her name is Shalay Peterson. She is just an incredible woman. She has an incredible story as well, too. But being able to have a best friend that you can be honest with, and there's not a competition between either one of you. She's taught me a lot about myself and a lot about being a really good friend, because we're not needy, but yet we need each other. And she's just very inspirational, and she's just really shown me what it is to be a true friend. And I think that we need to see more of that out there in the public. We need to see more healthy relationships with women. It shouldn't be the backstabbing and the fighting that goes on. And, I had mentioned to someone one time, I'm like, I need to have my own reality TV show, because...
You should do it if you can. Because you kind of, from hearing the last two stories, I'm like, all right, I didn't know you was like boss entrepreneur lady. I was like, oh man, like she just like, well, I guess voices, but like whatever. I'm like, she just kind of has the thought, and then she's like, all right, well, now how do we do it? As simple as a Google search, and then get more complex as it goes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, maybe you can do that. Reality. You just shot a commercial, right? Like,
yeah.
That's like, that's sort of there. You just keep the cameras there longer.
Just keep the cameras there longer. Because I tell you what, being around my family and around Shalay's family, we are our own movie. It's hilarious. But it's all positive stuff. It's, we all have our ups and downs, but everybody always comes together and supports one another and always has each other's back. And that's the kind of show that I would love to have out there for people to see. And I remember I said it one time to somebody, and they said to me, well, that show wouldn't do very well because stupid sells. And I thought, wow, that's pretty negative. Is that where we are?
I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, no, there's a whole market. There's so many niches now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally look at your own businesses. There's so many. There's so many.
There is.
Like, I hear you talk, and see, maybe because it's the creative in me, the first thing was like, all right, maybe not reality show, because start baby steps, because maybe you don't want cameras 24/7. But I was like, you know what you do? You do a week of, and you just film a lot of maybe both of your families' lives, and then you just turn it into a little documentary, and it could be like an hour each. Like, in bouncing back and forth, and you get the two polar stories, and then as they intertwine with each other,
right? And
you still get the message out there, and it's just one, and that way you don't need 24/7 cameras on you,
right? Because it is important to show the positive things that happen, and there's bad things that happen as well too, but not everything that you see on TV that is negative should stay that way. There has to be some way to resolve it and work it out. And if you can't, then you need to make sure you've got supportive people around you that are going to have your back to help you get through it. And that's what I'm not seeing out there. I don't like to watch those shows anymore. Yeah, the fashion and the makeup and all of that and the hair, all of that is beautiful. But come on, here in San Antonio, we're real women here. We all work hard at whatever it is that we do. And I know that there's a lot of us out there that have good, healthy relationships with other women that need to be shown instead of the bad stuff, the backstabbing and the talking and the shoving and the pushing kind of stuff. I don't like that. And I don't watch it. And I don't want people around me like that anyway.
So maybe you could do that, and maybe you could be the light. I'm trying to figure a way to how to say this, like, politely to the city, because I've been not famous, but I've been famous amongst my city, especially when I was more active in a musician standpoint. Like, just not the art doesn't exist here. So like, maybe you could be the thing that shines like a light on San Antonio. Now that
you never know.
People know San Antonio for another reason, not just the Spurs,
Right.
Because I feel like
right.
It's usually that. It's usually Riverwalk or Spurs, and that's
right.
really it,
Right.
Occasionally the Alamo, but mainly those two.
Right.
I feel like.
No, I agree. There's so much talent here in San Antonio. I just went for the very first time to the SA Film Festival.
Yeah,
that's where I met you.
Yeah.
And
I was about to say, like, I went there too, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a great experience for me to be able to see local artists here in San Antonio create these incredible short films. It was wonderful.
Some of those were real good, man.
Yeah, they were really my favorite, and I'm not being biased, is the one from Teresa Garza, who just now happens to be a very dear, close friend of mine as well. And her movie was amazing. You were a part of that as well.
That's right.
Easy
That's
Prey.
right.
Yeah, you remember? Easy Prey. It was an incredible, incredible film. It left me wanting to know, okay, what's going to happen tomorrow? And I didn't want it to end. So she's amazing also. The whole film, kudos to you guys.
That was semi-genuine, that's right, because I do take for granted my stuff, because I've I don't know, you get into the point where you want to do it in the beginning, and maybe you want to make it, and you want the attention, whatever, but then it doesn't come, and then it's all right, why are you doing it? You like doing it for you. So then at a certain point, I tucked my head down. And then you just start doing it. And so so one of the things I do now is I write rhymes and stuff. And I was very fortunate to touch someone with my rhymes. And I almost didn't even know how to take that because I'm just so used to doing it, move on, that I don't ever expect even a reaction, positive or negative. There just kind of is. There's only do go, Right. So some of that, it's not that is, John. That's right. I was a part of that because
you were a huge part of that.
And seeing it on there, I was it was cool to hear their reaction because I was all right, people like this. This is people like this. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to
awesome.
that.
I loved it. Yeah. I wish it had been shown first, but I have my own opinion on that because. Well, I'm not going to say, but it was an incredible. It was the best one I feel that I saw.
That's good.
What I loved about it the most was there was no dialogue. No dialogue for 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Absolutely no dialogue through this whole short film. Just the actors and the emotions on their face. And that music
shout out to
was
Jorge. Shout out to Jorge.
Doing this to my heart. That was it. It was so impactful. It was amazing.
Yeah, man. That was pretty fun. And I told you already, but I was I really didn't want to do it in the beginning because I was just scared because I've never done that. I've done this, but this ain't nothing. I just hit a button. But I've done concerts, and I'm just used to that. So it's just I can't get this wrong. And I usually have more than one camera when I'm doing that. So who cares if I get it wrong? I got 2 other cameras.
That's right.
So it's right. But this, I was all right, we did have 2 cameras, but primarily it was just me bouncing back and forth. So it's still mostly me. And I don't know, I was can I do this? And blah, blah, blah. And then you just do it anyway and make it happen.
You do it anyway. I mean, when I was going through my transformation over these last couple of years, I remember reading one of the books, and I don't remember the name of it. Yeah. But I remember reading somewhere in there saying that if you feel uncomfortable doing something, it could be that maybe you're on the right path.
Yeah. Fear, barring crazy stuff like jumping off a bridge, fear usually means this is a good thing.
Absolutely. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm more aware now of those things.
Yeah, I'm super grateful I did that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be here had I not done that.
That's right.
Boom.
I wouldn't be here either.
Well, yeah, you would. You just wouldn't be here with this. You would have been. Oh, you meant your story. Sorry. I thought you meant the movie. But here's this. So that mindset, because we were talking how on our journeys it takes, we had to go through what we went through to get to our mindset.
Absolutely.
How, for better or worse, it seems like we're both the person that we need to learn from our experiences. But you always hear that quote about there's a whole dumb, smart, and then wise, whatever thing. But basically that the ones who never learn, then the ones who learn from other mistakes, and then the ones who learns from others. So they don't even have to do that. So how would you impose to other women so that they can get the same mindset that you have, but without going through that scenario, if even possible? What would be your advice or even route? What do they have to even do to get there?
I really don't know how to answer that because it seems only because it seems like anytime I've been successful in something, it wasn't just hard work that got me there.
Yeah.
It's because there was something impactful that happened in my life that woke me up to work really hard and to make it happen. For example, one of the things that I can think of growing up, my father passed away when I was 16. He was always so positive about everything. You know, he's like, make sure you get your education. That way you don't ever have to depend on a man or anybody. You depend on yourself only. Get through school, do these things, and you'll be successful. But I remember him telling me, he was in the military at the time, and I remember him telling me, I wish there was some way that you could go through basic training and be in the military, but I wish they could waive that part out for you, that you don't have to go through basic training because you'll never make it. Because you're so much of a girly girl, you'll never make it. And I remember sitting there looking at him thinking, what do you mean? Here's my dad, my father, who believes in anything and everything I can do and telling me that, you know, I can be anything I want to be, but I can't make it through basic training.
Do everything but this.
Right. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so that bothered me because I thought, gosh, that's my father saying that to me. So when he passed away, it was very devastating to myself and my sisters and my mom. But that always stuck in the back of my head. I was just like, gosh, I can't believe he'd say something like that. So what did I do? I joined the military. I think it was about 19, and I went to basic training, and oh my God, it was brutal. Fort Jackson, South Carolina, that was the home of where the drill sergeant school was at. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. I would get in trouble for rolling my eyes. I still do that now, but for the time that I was in, I had to control that.
But you don't get in trouble now.
Yeah, I don't get in trouble. I don't care. But, you know, marching in formation, you know, I get in trouble. You know, they'd say, soldiers don't swing their hips like that. You need to march like a soldier. And, you know, so I'm like, oh my God. The mind over matter thing, I was a very weak person. I was just a kid. But the military taught me how to overcome any obstacle, period. So I guess to answer your question, you know, how can other women become, you know, successful and without having, I guess, bad things happen in their life? I don't know, because I'm not that woman. And I don't feel well versed in that. I just know how to succeed when bad stuff happens, and I put my mind to it, and I learn a lesson from it. I do have some friends that are successful businesswomen or successful in their profession, and they've lived a very, you know, safe life, I guess you could say. You know, they've been married once, they had children, they have a happy life, nothing bad ever happens in their life, and they're cool. So in a way, they're kind of my inspiration, like, well, you know what? I think I'm going to be okay.
But do you think nothing bad has happened, or from what you know?
Maybe from what I know.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe from what I know. I mean, maybe bad stuff has happened, but they've never like shared it with me, like the stuff that I've gone through.
Yeah, yeah.
Or my, you know, the things that my best friend Shalay has gone through. We know what each other has gone through and where we came from and where we're at now. But you know, I do have some of those friends that have lived a very safe life and they're successful. And again, maybe they haven't shared the bad things with me. But it's just that I've never seen them crumble and recover from that.
Yeah, because I feel like, as you were saying, like you wouldn't even know what to say. I was like, well, like, not lucky is the right word, but like in a horrible way, like almost everybody goes through bad stuff. So there is, you know, I guess lucky is like, well, overcome it, but that's the hard part. It is.
And I mean, there have been women that I've met that have had bad things that happen to them and they never overcome it. They stay stuck there.
Stagnancy. I feel like I should write this down. Like, cause I do feel like I have quote unquote secrets in life, but I only remember one at a time when I bring that up.
Right.
But yeah, from what you said, like, and it's always easier said than done, but all it is, and it's horrible to say because it doesn't mean nothing, but it's just move forward, move, like whatever that is, as dumb as that is. You always hear the simple thing: make your bed in the morning. You know, whatever little victory, but essentially,
absolutely,
move forward, because eventually it'll add up to whatever it is, that grand thing or that grand inspiration like you had,
Right.
And then to the bigger things that happen later. But stagnancy, and then like your husband told you, the 2 months of like, all right, dude, enough's enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Right. Because
like-
he knows me. He knows that I'm not the type of person that if something bad happens, I'm going to take it sitting down. That's the first time he had ever seen me truly crumble.
Yeah.
He didn't know that side of me ever. And he didn't know how to deal with it. Because he's such an amazing man. He's so supportive in whatever crazy idea I have, he's supportive of it. He may say, you may want to think about that a little bit or whatever, but for the most part, he's got my back 1,000%.
But that's what our circle should be. That's why I wanted to, because I feel like, and I try to do that for all my friends. Like, they say something crazy, I'm like, why? You should do that.
Right,
you know,
right.
you
Why
should,
not?
because why not? Because I'm like, yeah, otherwise we're just settling. Like, we're just, so why not be
Absolutely.
better or try that thing that's impossible or go after whatever it is? 'Cause-
We only have one chance here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We only have one chance, and you've got to make it count. And if you allow something bad to happen to you and you take it and you say, well, it was never meant to be, I just give up.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I don't want to be your friend. Because plain and simple, because
It's a hard line.
that's it. You know, it's funny because I've heard people talk about me, and people do talk about me quite a bit. But one thing I have heard about me is that there's no gray with Denette. It's black with Denette or it's white with
At least you
Denette.
know,
There's like
at
no
least
in
you know.
between.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know that about myself until after I heard that, and I thought, you know what, I am that way. You know, if you stay stuck, you don't grow. And if you don't grow, you die. And I don't want to be that person. And I don't want to be around people like that. You know, we're given a chance. We're given life. I mean, we've got to do something with it. Who cares if somebody thinks that your idea is crazy? Who cares?
Everybody thinks their stuff's crazy till one day they're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have ever thought that I would be doing what I'm doing now? I would have never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
I mean, even the business, when it does fail because of your partner,
Right.
it still worked until he was an ass. You know, like
Exactly.
Yeah, like it still worked. You know, like so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. You know, there's all these little quotes out there. One of them that bothers me a lot is that the sky is the limit. I hate that quote. I hate it because the sky's not the limit. Why does the sky have to be my limit? Why can't I go past that? Who says that I have to just make it that?
I mean, we have been to the moon, if you believe that.
Exactly.
I know a lot of people, it's a whole nother thing, but you know.
There's a movie that says that we didn't, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. No, but you know, truly, I feel that if you listen to other people's negativity or their limits that they're wanting for themselves,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that is you. You know, I don't listen to those kind of people. A really cool story that I was told was about WD-40, that the reason that it's named that is because it took them 40 times to get the recipe the right way. And when I sat there and I listened to that, I thought to myself, oh my God, what if they had stopped after the second fail? Or even the 39th fail?
Part
We'd
of
all
me
be
thinks that's
walking
lazy
around.
marketing,
Right.
and they just left the R&D name on it. But still, I hope it's true. But
I hope it's true. I hope it's true because if you think about it, how many creaky doors would we all be coming in and out of
Yeah.
if they had given up? And so whether that little story is true or not, it struck a chord with me because I'm thinking, you know what? If you quit after the first or the 10th or the 15th time that it doesn't work out,
yeah.
how do you know that it's not going to be that next time that it actually does work?
And pretty much every story, you can pick where all your stories, you know, because we always see the victory. We never see the work that went into it.
Absolutely.
So almost all of them have like, well, here's all my suckitude, but you don't really see them till they're here yet.
Exactly.
I mean, like everybody's favorite thing, or not favorite, but mostly favorite, like Apple. I mean, last time I checked, he got like kicked out of his company. You know, like,
He did.
yeah, like so,
He sure did.
Yeah, so even when he was there, still failing. You know, still failing.
Right.
You know?
It just takes something within a person to finally say, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah.
That wasn't working. Let me keep trying. And I mean, if you, I guess if you get to that point that it's just, you're seeing that it's just not working, then okay. It's okay to say, all right, enough is enough. Let me try something else. You can't just stop there and say, okay, it was just never meant to be. Let me just go home and lay on my bed and cry for 2 months like I did.
I think I was talking to my friend, and I think what happens to a lot of us, he says that he calls it you're more comfortable with the devil, so you're more comfortable in that place that we don't like because we know it, because fear of the unknown.
It's familiar.
Yeah.
Because you already know how you're going to feel there. You're going to feel horrible.
But you don't know what's on the other side. So sometimes, and that's where the moving forward is important, because you just got to. Because a lot of times, you never know, but a lot of times when you know, it might be good. And if it's not good, well, then don't go that way.
Right. Well, that's exactly right. Because I'm learning at the age that I am right now, 53, that there's not a coincidence in anything that happens. Everything is meant for a reason. We're meant to learn from it. And if something bad happens, then okay, don't do it again. But some people are like, let me just keep repeating the same cycle over and over, expecting a different result. And you're not going to get a different result if it was not a good one from the very beginning. So, I've had people say, well, how can I be successful like you? And I'm like, you really want to know? Okay, well, you go into partnership with somebody who's shady. You have them steal everything from you. You go home and cry for 2 months, and then you get really pissed off, and your husband supports you and loves you, and you hear Bruno Mars singing to you, "Don't believe me, just watch." And then you just light a fire under your ass and you just go. That's what you do. And sometimes they'll laugh at me and they're like, ha, that's funny. I'm like, no, it's the truth. Really, it's the truth. I admire those people who know what they want to do with their lives, like all through high school and out of college, and they've got a plan and they know where they want to go and they're going to get there. I'm a late bloomer.
Yeah.
I learned from the school of hard knocks. That's my university that I graduated with a PhD from. I truly believe that.
And you pay that tuition in full.
I paid that tuition. Oh my God, I paid that tuition.
At least one of us has, because I'm still paying mine. But I mean, but that's like a dangerous question. If I can rephrase it, that I struggled with a lot growing up. And I try to almost never ask that now. How can I be like you, or how can I do what you did? Just because everybody's journey is different.
Everybody's journey is different.
So your failure might not be their failure.
Exactly.
They can't repeat oh man, I gotta get married. To do.
No, exactly. I gotta get married and divorced and have kids and be a single person and all that. No.
Yeah, everybody's journey is different.
We're all here to learn a lesson. That's why and my props out to my best friend, seriously, because she has gone through a lot of things in her life as well. And I'm not sitting here to speak for her, but and I know her now. I didn't know her back then. But people only see the outside of her, of what she has, not knowing the lessons and the journey she went through to get to where she's at. And the same thing with me also. I mean, they see my husband and I, people see my husband and I, they see, the cars that we drive and where we live and those kinds of things. And, I hear people talk and say, well, why them? Or why her? Why not me? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, first of all, to be me for one day, somebody would probably go jump off the highway with all the stuff that I do in just one day, whether I'm at the office or here at home or just doing stuff. My life is not the normal life. There's a lot.
People need to change that, and it's hard. Easier said than done. We talk about the mind thing. So that's why I mean, I can too. Just that's it. Just a little thing, because because you're doing it. So can they.
Absolutely. Believe me, I am no different than anybody else out there. It's just that my journey was one that I had to learn a lesson in seeing the flags when they're right in front of me and not ignoring them. only because I wanted to have a business so badly. Okay. I know that now. I'm a lot wiser now than I was 5 years ago. I truly am. I think a lot more. My husband's a great partner in that. I can be still a little impulsive sometimes, saying, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. How do we get it done? And he's like, wait, why don't you just sleep on it 24 hours and see how you feel in the morning? And there's some times that I'm like, oh yeah, that was not a good thought that I had of a direction that I wanted to go in, or or a change in friends or something like that. But I lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you're 53. I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sure it was something magnanimous that I was going to say.
Well, we'll move on then, because what I'm trying to, for me, I think something I've been, and I stole this from somebody, but either way, it's just goal setting or something. But I've been trying to have this, I guess he calls it Everest, you gotta, people get to their mountain. So you got your 2 businesses now. But for a lot of people, they get there and they probably would have been at 1. They're like, all right, that's it, And I feel like that happened to me as I was telling you my story in March. I had the girl I liked, and then I moved to Austin. But that's it. I didn't make no more goals, And I feel like that maybe have played a role in why nothing else happened. And maybe I would plateau, and then all the other bad stuff that happens after that. But yeah, so now that you are where you are and you're doing what you're doing, what is the next aim, I guess? I'm
not done. We just started another company that we're franchising as well too. If I don't have enough stuff on my plate to do. But like I said, we only get one chance, and I want to make it count. I've been really lucky that through the whole journey of what happened the first time with a business partner, that my kids were able to actually see me recover from that and continue to
because now I can look to you as a hero.
Absolutely. Yeah. And my daughter texted me something the other day that really made me cry. I'm so proud of her and my son-in-law. They've done really well. She's a registered nurse now also. And I had texted her the other day and I said, hey, do y'all need any money for anything? And she texted me back and she's like, Mom, we're good. She's like, I've got my nursing license now. My husband has a great job. She's like, and we're busting our asses. She goes, I'm really busting my ass, Mom. And she said, and you're the person that I learned that from. So that made, again, I go back to that and I'm thinking, you know what? That situation needed to happen the way that it happened, because it just did. And look what she saw from all of that. She saw me overcome it. And now she's busting her ass out there because she knows that, hey, that's the only way I'm going to be successful is if I put my nose to the grindstone and I just keep going. What's next to come for Denette? I don't know. My story is still being written. I'm not done, and I'm not going to be finished until I probably collapse, is what I'm thinking. There's so much to do out there. So much to do. I want to make an impact out there in the world. I feel like I've done some of that with our healthcare business. With my cosmetic line, I definitely want to make an impact in women's lives and how they feel about themselves. Our current business with our hospices that we're building as well is changing healthcare that way also, including the families in the dying process, because they get forgotten. Everybody focuses on the patient that's dying, but people forget about the family and who's going to be left behind. And that's my goal there, is to change healthcare in that way. Let's pay more attention to the family. Patient will always be taken care of. Families who's left behind. And who knows what's going to come after that. I always feel I get inspired when I see a need for something that everybody else may be ignoring. And I feel like maybe then I can make an impact in some way, and I'll come up with some kind of business idea for that.
So are those the reasons why you can't settle? Because I think a lot of people's dream is once you reach a certain level of success, all right, now I'm a chill and life's easy, Okay.
No, I don't feel that way. Yeah. I feel like I didn't have a plan like everybody did in high school and in college of what their career was going to be. I mean, I thought I wanted to be a nurse like my older sister was. And then I didn't want to do that initially. So I joined the military, and it was very immediate when I found out that I was going to a field unit and not to the hospital. At that point, I decided, I think I want to be a nurse now, you know, because I'm like, that military life was just, it was wonderful. I don't regret one single minute of it, but it was hard. It was really hard. So, I feel that as each day goes by, I'm learning new things. I don't feel like I'm still where I need to be. So I'm still evolving daily. And so I don't know what the next opportunity is going to be, but I know that it's not going to be something to just be for the money, because that's not what any of my businesses have been about. It's not just about, you know, the money. It's about making an impact in people's lives. So whatever the next venture is that I come up with that I feel is going to be impactful in someone's life, that's what I'm going to do.
Even though you said you don't know, a part of me is like, well, where do you need to be? If you like,
where do I need to be?
Because you said that, yeah, you don't know where you need to be. Well, I'm like, well, where do you need to be?
Well, I think where I need to be is continuing to help people and to inspire people, because I think that is my calling right now. Like I said, there are people that have their goals in life and what they want to do, and they say, I'm going to be a doctor and I'm going to make this much money, and then I'm going to have the trophy wife and I'm going to have all of this, and that's where they stop, because they already had a plan. I didn't have a plan. I had no idea what I wanted to do with myself until a couple of years ago, until God said, okay, let me flick her on the forehead because she's not listening to the red flags, and let me let this happen so she can go and do these things. So I still don't have a plan of where I need to be, because the story's still evolving, and my calling, I feel, is to just continue to inspire people, and I guess until I can't anymore.
So I have these life questions I like to ask people, and they might border on some repetitive answers, but whatever.
It's okay.
But they also sometimes take us other places. That's why I like to ask them. What do you think people think you're crazy for believing? Like, some you believe that people think you're crazy for believing. Right away, the voices comes to mind.
The voices come to mind.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I think that people think that I have, may think that I have this great business mind, or like this big secret of how to be successful in business. And I don't. It's just been the journey that God has put me through to get there.
Just kind of trying it and doing it.
Just trying it and doing it and not being afraid. And at my age now, I can honestly, truly tell you, I don't care what people think about me. And I think that's a lot of people's fear, is that they are afraid of what people are going to think about them when they come up with a crazy idea, or that they're going to be made fun of, ridiculed, whatever. I don't care. And so I think I know people think I'm crazy, but I would say that it's because I don't care what other people think.
See, what's great about that is that allows you to be yourself. And that was an issue for me for many years, for most of my life. I feel like I'm only now just getting to that area where it doesn't matter, man. Here is who I am. Embrace it. And then people, if they stay, cool. Now they know me, and I get to be me, and it's even better. If they don't stay, then cool, because now you need to be here anyway.
Exactly, because it's hard to be a different person with a different person.
Oh, it sucks.
It's exhausting.
Yes, it sucks.
It's exhausting to do that, and so people probably say I'm crazy for believing that I don't care what other people think, because I don't.
All right. Next one is, oh man, this one, this is the freedom. If you were rich, how would you live your life?
Well, rich is defined in different ways.
It's your question. You do whatever you want.
Okay, so
I always let them do it.
Some people may say, well, if I was rich,
Yeah.
I would buy all these cars. I live in a huge house with a pool, and I'd have, all kinds of people doing things for me. Or rich could be having great health, having healthy relationships, doing what you love, and being your true self. And I think that's where I'm at on that second one. I'm there. I'm rich in that way. I'm rich in the sense that I have an amazing husband. I have an incredible best friend. I have my health, and I'm learning to pace myself with that as I get older. My kids are great, not just because they're my kids, but because they have seen what I've gone through, and they've been supportive of me. And I'm hoping that as they get older and they go through their own stuff, they'll be able to look back and say, hey, this is what happened to mom, and she got through it. This is not that bad. We went through it with her, and we'll get through this as well too. So I'm there. That's where I'm at in being rich.
This was my original question. Why I got, the reason we even talking, like, why I even got into meditation and any of that stuff, because I didn't know what to do in life, and I would always hear meditation give you some answers. I don't know if it does, but it does something to me, so I keep doing it. But original thing, I was searching for purpose, and so then I used to always ask everybody, what's their goal in life? And because I needed one, and then later you find out, the answers are within. But I didn't know that at the time. But yeah, what is your goal in life? Which I feel like you've probably said a lot. But like I said, these questions are repetitive.
No, that's totally fine. No, I think my goal in life now is to continue inspiring people, especially women and young girls who grow up to be women. I want to be that positive role model for them to see that there is a woman out there who has healthy relationships with other women, who supports other women, who lives her life in a way that is motivating to other women, not the stuff that we see on television.
What are 3 things you're thankful for in life?
3 things that I'm thankful for in life? My husband, for sure, first and foremost. My best friend, Chalet, and my kids.
If I may I ask, how did you meet him?
How did I meet my husband?
Yeah.
We met on Match.com.
Really? Yes. I just assumed military.
And I laugh about that because there's people that have asked us, well, how did you guys meet? They think that we have this great, incredible whirlwind romance.
I don't know about that. I was expecting military.
Yeah, no. And the funny thing is, and I think you and I may have been talking about this earlier, or I was talking to somebody else about it, but I was married before, I was divorced, and he was also. And we didn't meet until later on in life. We've only been married almost 11 years now. Okay. And, there are so many times that I would sit back and I think, oh my gosh, if I had met him, if he had been there from the very beginning, how incredible that would have been.
But would it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know.
I really, truly don't think so, because I would not have grown to be the person that I am now.
And maybe same for him.
And same for him. Yeah. And I truly feel he had a great marriage. I mean, he really did. Mine, not so much, but that's okay. I feel like he was, and no disrespect to his ex-wife, because she's an amazing lady, but I just feel like he was just spending his time of life until I got mine together, and then we could meet. That's what I truly believe, because I know back then, if we had met, it probably, maybe it would not have lasted. I don't know. And we would have missed out on a great rest of a lifetime together. Match.com is something that, I see it on TV. You see the commercial. You see all these funny commercials like farmersonly.com, and there's all these .com dating.coms out there. So anyway.
Is Farmers a dating site?
What's that?
Is that a dating site? Farmers Only?
Farmersonly.com? Yes, it is. You need to look up their YouTube video.
Okay, I guess I do.
There's actually a cow mooing on there.
What is that like? What? Wait. So why is it called Farmers Date Only? Is it like for only farmers to date other farmers? Or?
Something like that, pretty much. Yeah, I didn't believe it when I first heard it on TV. I thought it was a funny thing.
It's a niche for everything.
I'm telling you, there's a niche for everything. And so I actually looked it up, and it's a true dating site.
My dream person's a farmer. Let me go on this.
Hey, don't knock it.
Hey, I mean, it works, man.
You try it. You may.
Farmer might be amazing. I'm a farmer. It just never occurred to me. It just never.
No. So my husband always tells everybody that he was on Match.com for so long that they weren't charging him anymore.
Damn.
Which I don't believe
status.
that. I don't believe him saying that. But I did try like a 7-day free trial, and I met him on that 7-day free trial. And so I really didn't have to pay anything. So, but it was a weird, I'd never done anything like that before. Writing a profile and trying to explain who I am and
some words,
what I was looking for and what I was going to give back in return. And he read my profile and we communicated via email, and then he didn't want to meet for like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
We talked on the phone for about that long, and he didn't want to meet in person because he told me that he was afraid that if we didn't like each other in person, that we weren't going to get to talk again. And we really had a great time talking at night. We would talk about all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I forced him, and I said, no, we're going to meet because I need to meet you. And I already knew from the second I heard his voice the first time he called me, with the calming of his voice that came over me, I already knew. I'm like, oh my God, this is the man that I have been waiting for my whole life. And all he had to say was, hello, this is Edward. May I speak with Denette? And I thought...
Had me at hello.
That was it. He had me at hello. He really did. And we've been inseparable ever since.
Man.
It's amazing. But it took me, like I said, we've been married 11 years now. I'm a late bloomer. Most people are able to do that, early in life. Not me. I always have to go the opposite direction.
Hey, man.
I always end up back full circle, but I have to go the long way.
But that's how you cultivate yourself.
That's it.
I was like, that story. There's another movie idea. You just got the two separate lives, and the movie ends with the hello, may I speak to you?
That's it.
Boom.
And that's where the movie should end right there.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect ending of that movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning, having a business and having employees come and go, or people coming and applying, or there being like a dry spell where nobody comes to apply. And, I don't necessarily take it as like there's something wrong with us. Maybe there is a block up to prevent anybody from who's not supposed to be coming in to come in. So I'm starting to rationalize things like that anymore. It's not like, oh my God, what's wrong with us? What did we do wrong? In any situation, not just in business, but even in personal life. I just feel like there's that block for a reason. And that's okay. It's totally fine.
Yeah, man. Again, that's more narrative switching. That stuff's super powerful. Like, that's stuff, man, that should be taught, like, immediately. Like, from school. Right.
Right.
Because that's super important. Because the narrative we tell ourselves defines us. And all that stuff when we're young, like you just said earlier, like, about people caring about what people think.
Right.
That's because we're literally telling us the story. They don't care about what we think. They don't even see us to think of us. But because I'm creating this story for myself about people caring, I'm imagining all these people caring about me, and no one gives a damn.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But they will care if you are the first one to go out there and try it and you succeed. Then they care. Then they want to be your friend. Then they want to hang around with you.
Yeah. That's the 4-minute mile story.
That's the 4-minute mile story.
No one could do 4 minutes because it might kill you or whatever. One guy does it, and I think 23 people did it by the next year. Oh, what? You can do that?
Exactly.
And then, let's go do it.
There has to be that trailblazer out there that takes one for the team and just doesn't give a crap and they go out and they do it. And I've been lucky, even though what happened to me in the beginning, I've been lucky again with having the support that I had from my family, my husband and my kids, and not caring about what people think, and then just going out there. And so what if I fall flat on my face? I don't care. I'll get up and I'll do it again, or I'll find a different or a better way of doing it. I'm just not going to sit down and take it and say, oh, that's it. It's not meant to be. Just because I don't want to try again.
Yeah, man. It's important to get to that place, man.
It is.
Where you see yourself 3 years in the future?
3 years in the future? Yeah. Okay, let's see. I'll be 56. Hopefully I will have lost the last 15 pounds that I've been trying to lose for the last
You can do it. We talked about this. You can totally do it.
I know. I just have to do it, right?
But I mean, see, now you haven't said all this. You already know you can. You've done a bunch of hard stuff.
I just need to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
In 3 years, I hope to see that that Epic Vascular, the vascular access company that I have, continues to go and bless a whole bunch more nurses to have their own businesses. I hope also that the hospices will take off just as well too, and that families' lives will be changed by something that we created. And that my cosmetic line will be out in Neiman Marcus and Sephora and wherever, so that other women can bypass all that stuff that's out there and actually get a product that they can pick up that actually truly means something to them and that impacts their life and motivates them. I think that's it. I think that's where I see myself in the next 3 years, is seeing those things come to fruition. And who knows, maybe a couple of other businesses that I decide to come up with to inspire people. My book hopefully will be done before the end of the year, and that will tell my story. Yes, I have a book.
If you do an audio book, I'll totally read it.
Cool.
I just can't. I don't know why. I don't have the ability. I mean, I can, but
it's not for everybody to sit and just open up a book and read it.
I used to do it when I was younger, and I don't know what happened to that.
I did too, and I have to do it at the right time of the day, because if I do it when it's close to bedtime, I'll read a couple of pages and then that's it, and then I won't pick it up again for a while. But what my plan is for the book is to finish it, or that it will be finished, and that my goal is to get out there and take it on a book tour and talk to women about my journey. Do the
live Q&A and all that. Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would love to sit out there and have other women read my story and tell me what they think about it. Because even if they haven't gone through the same thing that I've been through, we have all, as women, suffered some type of loss in some way. And there's not a book out there to tell you how to get through it. Especially those books that say, well, number 1, do this, or number 2, do that. Well, that number 1 and number 2 may not be the same for everybody. My book, though, I think that in different levels, it will appeal to a lot of women and hopefully motivate them that regardless of the severity of the loss, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train, and that you will get through it. I don't have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 formula of how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what worked for me. And that is just surrounding myself around positive, supportive people, period. And make sure you have a great best friend. You've got to have that best girlfriend.
How does one get that?
That's the thing. I don't know, because I wasn't looking for a friend, a girlfriend to have. Because I'm so busy, and in the time in my life that I was in, I knew I didn't want to have a friend that was going to be needy, that I had to listen to every single thing that they said and be their counselor and all these kinds of things. But I wanted to have a girlfriend that I could just talk to and wouldn't judge me, and sometimes wouldn't even give me any advice. Just sat there and listened, period. And so one day I was teaching a class for some nursing students on how to insert an IV. And one of the students in my class came up to me afterwards, and she says, "You have got to meet my mom." You guys are going to be best friends. Damn. I already know it.
Universe provided it to
right. And I was like, okay. I said, really? She goes, oh my God, my mom's going to love you and you're going to love my mom. I was like, well, cool. So she says, she goes, I've already texted her. She wants to meet you. I was like, okay, well, all right. So she owns a home health agency for children. And I went to go teach a class to her nurses on how to start IVs. And we met. And it was just like, it was so amazing to meet a woman who is confident and secure and a badass and positive, and to just be a real, genuine human being. And then as we got to know each other and we told each other our stories, it was like, wow. It was amazing to be able to not have to compete with another woman at any level for any reason. And to meet somebody who genuinely cares about you and who has your back at any cost, even if you're wrong, will help you. Not that we would kill anybody, but would be the first person that I call if I needed to bury a body and wouldn't judge me and say, okay, girl, I've got my shovel. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Man. It was a universal.
I'm gonna ask that question. Who's your burial buddy? I'm gonna just ask you like that now.
Who's the person that will help you bury the body at midnight when nobody's looking? Or one of your other questions would be, which is one that my husband has asked me before, can you spend 4 hours in a car with that person? I can tell you there are some people I wouldn't even be able to get into a car with, much less spend a minute in there with, but.
I want to say some stuff, but I'm not going to.
Why not? Say it. Who cares?
It can get edited. No, it's just I'm trying to be positive. That's
Got it.
And it's like, because to tie all the way back to the hate thing,
right?
That stuff takes energy too. And it's not like I even hate this person, but it's like, all right, so it's a negative person, like it's done. So like I try to bring it up less, because even the bringing it up of it, it's like, all right, I've already put that out there, already, and it's done, and don't need it no more. So don't spend those 3 hours, and we're good.
No, exactly.
Or 4 hours.
No, true. And throughout the whole 5 years of this journey of what happened, I talked about it constantly. Constantly. It was sometimes consuming me so much that sometimes it would prevent me from going to the next level. So it was a constant battle back and forth.
I do that a lot too, but I feel like by me talking it's so much, eventually I'm going to do it.
Well, true. It's almost like a therapy.
Because I'm holding the world. Yeah, it's a therapy. And
I'm
holding
therapy.
The world. If I'm telling the world all this, like, oh, crap, I guess I better at least try this thing.
Exactly. No, you're being held accountable if you do that. And so I would tell my story to anybody that would listen. And it got to the point where one day, it's like I didn't even tell the story.
Yeah.
I just said, Epic was created by a woman who just said, you know what?
It's not even me.
A woman who just said, enough is enough. I got to do something about this. It wasn't, that other part wasn't even brought into it anymore because it didn't matter. And I saw this person recently. I hadn't seen him in a while, but I saw him recently, actually at the film festival. And I didn't know how... At first, I didn't even know he was going to be there, but I'd often wondered, if I were to see him, what would be my reaction? Would I go into military mode and just run and go tackle him and, do something crazy?
Well, I don't think you did that unless you did it after.
I did. No, I didn't. Actually, there was a peacefulness that came over me when I saw him, and I truly felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for him because... he could have been a part of what we were doing had he been an ethical person. But he's not. And it's not in his journey to have followed us to do what we're doing right now. So it was pity that I felt. There was thankfulness that I felt. I didn't say it, and I don't know if I'm there yet, if I could absolutely say, thank you for what you did to me, because now look at me and look at what I'm doing. Kind of like the Toby Keith song that I heard the other day. I forget how the song goes. I don't remember the name of it, but
I don't even
he's
know
talking
how it
about
goes. I don't even know.
he's talking about being on the radio, and I guess how she had mistreated him so badly, and that now he's on her radio and she has to hear his voice, kind of thing. I don't remember the name of the song, but it was. That very moment, I felt like...
makes me think of torture them with success. Because now she has to hear the voice.
Right, exactly. I mean, the best revenge is to just be successful and to continue to inspire people and to not look back in that rear view mirror.
You can't look back, man.
No, you can't. You got to just keep going forward. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself that I handled it like a lady. And I was like, wow, this had to happen. Seeing him, I was like, this had to happen for me to be able to go on and do these amazing things. I've been given the opportunity, I've been given the responsibility to do these things, to inspire and motivate people. How can I go back and say, I hate you for that? You know what I mean? How can I say, you're a jerk or you're scum or whatever? Yeah, you are. But you know what? I've been called to do this. And that's something that person could not have been a part of. And that's great. So I keep doing my thing. Just keep moving forward and growing and motivating and inspiring people.
Well, why is it called Epic?
I've been asked that question before, and I wish I had like some profound, magnanimous answer for that. Okay. So epic. So PICC lines. PICC lines are peripherally inserted central catheters that are placed in your left or right arm, inner part of the bicep or outer part here, and go up towards the heart. They're for long-term antibiotics, chemotherapy, all kinds of things. Okay. So I'm not going to say the name of the company that we had before because I don't even say that word. Yeah. But I wanted to have a company
it's the same thing like I was just talking about.
Right. I wanted to have a name that meant something, that wasn't just a cartoon name kind of thing. Okay.
Is that like a theme in there? Like, there's a lot of cartoon names in that industry, or?
No, but that one had a cartoonish name, and it still has a cartoonish name. Okay. So I wanted, that was like, I'm not, I didn't want to be attached to that. Yeah. So I actually Googled words that have PICC in them, PIC, or PICC. So the first thing that popped up was Epic, EPIC. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my God. I mean, it was the first word seriously that came up. And I thought, that's the name of the company. I have to add an extra C on the end, EPICC. And what we do is vascular. And I was like, that's it.
I feel like Google has helped you a lot.
Google is my life. Google is the answer to everything. If you want an answer in life, Google it. But seriously.
It's not wrong.
It's
that
not.
and YouTube, boom,
Boosh.
Oh, there you go. Look, that's amazing. And you haven't even, that's amazing you said it, because I hardly ever say it in life, but I say it a lot in text, but we haven't gotten to do that, I think. I don't think I've said it to you a lot.
No, I saw it in your text, and I'm like, I've got to say it, because you know what? I like that word.
Like, I did do
that word has power and meaning behind it.
Yeah.
That's like, boom.
I've been saying that since I was like a kid. I'm still saying
Boosh
that.
is boom on steroids.
Yeah. Boosh. Yeah.
Boosh.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's amazing.
Oh, I love that.
It sucks mixing it in music because this, and that's like a whole audio thing because the sibilance and it doesn't sound great on the ears. So I was like, man, the word I picked, But
it has meaning
it's great
behind
everywhere
it.
else.
That's right. It has meaning behind it. Our hospices are called Blue Horizons. That name I came up with. Believe me, I wish I had some incredible answer to give you, but I remember I was driving to Kerrville. I think it was like about 6:30, 6:45 in the morning to go teach an IV class. And the sky looked absolutely beautiful that morning. It was blue and silver, and it was gorgeous. And all I remember saying to myself was, wow, that blue horizon is just gorgeous. And then it's like, I was like, oh, I'm driving and I thought, oh my God, that's the name. That's the name.
It just comes to you.
Just came to me. And then my cosmetic line, Buenrostro, my maiden name. My husband likes to say it to other people and I get really embarrassed when he says it. But Buenrostro means good face. And so...
That's kind of perfect. There you go.
Well, you know, I thought to myself, it's not a very common name. People always butcher it. No offense. You said it. You finally said it correctly. But most of the time people butcher it.
They say some kind of language, though. I mean, guys, you know, like can't hold me to that high standard. I'm
no, people, I mean, ever since I was a little girl, people said it all different kinds of ways. Yeah. Okay. And so I thought, you know what more of a great honor than to use my father's last name in something that I truly, not that I don't believe in the other businesses that we have, but it's something that also really means a whole lot to me. Yeah. What better way to represent my father's, you know, last name than by using it in something that is something beautiful, which is the makeup, not only for the colors, but for the names. So that's what I did.
Now you mentioned that, it makes me, and especially using the name, like, what is the, I don't even know what's the right way to ask this, but like, how was your father?
My father?
Yeah.
Oh, he was amazing. He was a very strong man. He was in the military.
Yeah.
I had a great childhood. I had mom and dad. I had two sisters, older one and a younger one. We were always together. I can't remember anything really bad in my childhood growing up. We were just always together. We went on vacations together, but nothing, it wasn't anything like going to New York or to California. It was just like little places, maybe to Corpus Christi or to Astroworld in, I think that's in Houston. Just small little trips that we would take together. And he was just always very family oriented. He always led us to believe that there was nothing that we couldn't do, except for me going through basic training. He really empowered us to be strong women, along with my mom. My mom is a very, very strong woman. But, you know, dads are always little girls' first loves. We will always love daddy first before any man that comes into our life. And so he was really our everything. He was our everything. And so when he passed, when I was 16, it was devastating to my sisters and to my mom. It was like the king of the house had just died, and what are we going to do now? But the good thing is that feeling didn't last for very long, because he raised us to be strong. And my mom's already a strong woman. So I think he left a great legacy behind, in the sense that he taught us to be able to stand on our own 2 feet, and taught us to not have to depend on somebody else to get you through life. I mean, you've got to have that within yourself. And I think he trained us really well in that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to ask this as a creative, because now once you say you write in a book, like, what is your creative process for writing the book? Because I feel like at some point I want to try my hand at that. But what like, are you writing it on your own? Are you getting help from other authors?
Oh, no, I'm getting help from an author, Dr. Catherine McMillan. She is an author of numerous books. One of her books that I know of is, one of the Dummies books. Okay. I think it was for Christmas decorations, if I'm not mistaken. But she also has her PhD in psychology. She's an incredible lady. And so I met her one day through a friend of mine named Wally, who's an incredible photographer. And because I'd mentioned to Wally, I said, I told him my story, and he's like, oh my gosh, you need to put that in writing. He's like, women will read your book. And I was like, you think so, really? He's like, let me introduce you to a wonderful lady. She's authored many books, and she can help you. I know she can. So I met Catherine. And first of all, Catherine walks into a room and everybody turns their head. She has the most beautiful red hair, short haircut like mine, and she's just very striking and very intelligent. And so we sat down one day and I told her my story of what had happened. And she just looked at me and she's like, I am so mad right now by what you told me. She goes, first of all, that was terrible what he did. She said, but to see that, what you went through and now where you're coming to be now, she said, is an incredible thing. She says, but by listening to your story, she says, I know that other women are going to be able to identify with it, not just at the same level. She goes, but I've gone through things like that myself too with people, not my exact thing that happened to me, but people suffer losses and things. And then how do they come through them? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? So she told me, she says, I want to help you get your message across. She's like, we're going to do this together. And she's like, I'm so excited about it. So that's what we've been doing. Every time her and I meet, we sit across from each other. We spend probably the first hour and a half talking about everything and everyone, doing our little gossip session.
Yeah.
And then we get down to business. Then she pulls out the recorder and I just start talking.
Okay.
And she has already sent me pretty much most of the transcript via email. And so that's been another kind of therapy for me, not only telling my story, but rereading it over and over and over again, to the point where now it's like, you know what? I am so okay with what happened because I see all the good that's come out of it and more good that's going to be coming from it.
That like messed me up, and I purposely tried not to mention it too much, but like that always makes me like, it's hard for me to cry, but it gives me like these, like, I get like teary eyed, and that's it. I don't know why. I'm not like trying not to cry or no, but I would just get like teary eyed. And like I mentioned it earlier, like when I was writing like rhymes for somebody.
Right.
And so what I was doing, and like she would tell me her story, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just transcribing it, but I guess I'm transcribing it into rhyme, some type of poetry. Right. And again, like I said, so I have my head down and I just do it. And she was like kind of like touched by it, and it was the same thing like you were saying, like it's kind of therapy, and it was giving her strength and all that. Right. And I was like, that's crazy, because like I just kind of do this. Like I didn't expect anything. Yeah, I didn't
expect, well, like you, like Catherine, are the vessel to get the message out there. And that's a beautiful thing. And
it's just cool, like, all right, so I guess this is a thing. It's not like, this is, all right, like, people, even though they know their own story.
Right.
So I'm like, all right.
I mean, I can communicate my story the best that I can, but to read how Catherine has put my message into words it's phenomenal what she's done so far. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait for it to be finished.
Get the audiobook.
And an audiobook.
Make it an audiobook, and you do the reading.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, now, for our hospice commercial.
You talk for like an hour and 30 minutes. You can totally read. You can read. You can totally read the book.
When we did the hospice commercial, we filmed it here at our house.
Yeah.
And Teresa and Jorge were with me in the closet because I did the voiceover for the commercial. And I was so nervous.
That's training.
I was so nervous. And they were so patient with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the closet with Jorge, who is one of the band members of
Neon Indian.
Yeah. Okay, first of all.
Yeah.
How cool is that to be in the closet with him, of all people.
Traveling the world.
Exactly, traveling the world, doing his thing, being on Jimmy Kimmel and Fallon, and I mean, just doing incredible, amazing things. And then to be in the closet with his mom, Teresa Garza. Yeah. With all of her wonderful things that she's doing with her films and directing and producing and acting. And to know how her voice sounds because of her many years of experience of being an actress and voiceovers and things like that, I had to be in the closet with these two professionals, and I was stuttering. Okay. And they're coaching me, say it this way, say it that way. And I finally got it done. But man, it's a process. People don't realize what you guys do in the background.
Yeah.
They just go and they see the movie.
That's why I was scared.
I saw y'all's movie, and I was just like, oh my God. But not realizing all of what you guys put into it.
It can be intimidating.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me to do, I don't know that I could... Well, here I am talking about inspiring and motivating people. I don't know if I could do that. That was some work. You can totally do it.
You just haven't done it yet. And it might not even be the thing you want to do.
I don't know, but who knows? Maybe I'll try it.
I was like, why is this music playing?
You know what it is? We have a Sonos speaker.
Yeah.
And it goes off at weird times of
At
the
6,
day.
yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
Yes. That's
Usually
what it is.
Tchaikovsky starts playing at about 8 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. That's what I usually wake up to listening.
Gotcha.
And so now Frank is singing.
You're gonna get this podcast flagged, and it's gonna like take it off of YouTube.
Do I need to turn it off?
It would probably be best. But it was good. Thank you for telling me that creative process, because I'm like, all right, almost there. You know. But what is the perfect day?
What is the perfect day?
Yeah.
Oof. I don't know. I haven't had a perfect day.
Damn.
I know.
Still,
because
but
you know
there
what?
you go. Now you got something to aim for.
I know I have something to aim for, right? Because what I've learned is that my day, that's why I said when people say, oh, I want to be you, I'm like, you couldn't handle being me. And I don't mean it in a mean way. I'm just it's a process every day of talking to myself. From the minute I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, the first thing that I do is say, thank you, God, I'm alive. Oh my gosh, I'm ready to go start my day. But my day can go up and it's going perfect. And then all of a sudden, it's this. It's the Texas cyclone. That is my day. So what I'm learning to do, Six Flags.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like,
or the one over here, what's it called? Fiesta Texas.
Yeah, Six Flags.
Six Flags, Fiesta
you're like,
Texas.
no, but we got to own it. It's Fiesta Texas.
Fiesta Texas. My days go up and down.
Yeah.
So what I'm learning to do is just kind of, instead of doing this all day long, is to just kind of, when the good is great, awesome. But just know, okay, enjoy it because something else might happen.
Yeah.
And then it does.
Kinda
or it doesn't.
Even, yeah.
Yeah, just to be even. So I guess the answer to the question, what is a perfect day, is just getting through the day and not having to use my AK. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Second time I heard this Ice Cube stuff. Oh my gosh, yo. Someone said that like, I think 2 episodes ago. Yeah, it was like...
I'm just kidding. Maybe. No, I don't know.
Where do you keep the AK?
Yeah.
Where do you keep it? Just in case.
It's hidden. No. So really a perfect day for me is just being able to, hey, I made it through the day.
Yeah.
And I've got tomorrow to look forward to. That's it.
Yeah.
Do people have perfect days? I don't know. Do you have perfect days?
You know what came... So, like, when I asked that, it's like, what is the perfect day? And then, you know, so you can describe something to come. My favorite answer was somebody who gave me his detailed, I guess, perfect. He's like, so at 7:45, I would wake up and I'll do, like, he gave me the whole thing. Like, me and my girlfriend will do this. And, like, I'm like, damn, sounds like you can make that perfect day happen because you have it all scheduled.
No kidding.
But when you said, have you had a perfect day? And the first thing that comes to mind is I'm in grade school. And I wanted, Tekken 3 comes out. It's a PlayStation game. And I wanted it so bad. And on Fridays, going to Catholic school, I don't know what it is, but you get off at 12 o'clock. I think every first Friday of the month or something like that. I think so,
probably. Yep.
Yeah, and so, but Toys R Us wouldn't let you in unless you're younger, right?
Oh.
So my grandma, all right, she's like 80, whatever, you know? So I'm like, grandma, like, take us to Toys R Us. And it takes me and a bunch of my friends to Toys R Us. And the other half of my friends, like, they stay at the basketball court. And we go there and we buy this game. And I had, like, downloaded, like, memory. So I would have all the hidden stuff already day one. And then me and, like, my house at that point in time is 90-something, you know? So at that point in time, I'm in probably 6th grade or something. Mm-hmm. At that point in time, my house, like, it was the video game house. So, like, everybody would come. But since it was a day one game, like, every black house there's no room. It's just an apartment. I lived in the projects, you know, so like there's just no room there, you know. But we're all there, and we played our asses off, and it was that I love that day. I love that day. I don't know. I always remember. I never forget that day.
That's awesome.
And I'm super grateful. I'm sad right now. Again, I got the tears there because I'm always grateful to my grandma because I'm like, man, she made that happen because she took me. And I always remember like a negative thought. I was like, man, I remember. Like, she wanted to buy me a drink. I didn't want no soda. Who knows why I was mad? But she's also taking me to school that one day. And I just remember just throwing that drink away in the garbage. And I didn't open it. And it's like nothing. It's just a drink. Just like a dollar or two. But, like, I just always remember, like, why would I do that? Like, she bought me a drink. Like, that's so stupid, you know? So I always remember that and then that. And I was like, man, like, just being super grateful to that. Yeah, I don't know. I almost want to cry right there, even though it's nothing. But like,
no,
yeah.
but that's a sweet thing that she did. And we do stupid things as kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we don't know any better.
Yeah,
it's when we get older that we look back and we think, you know what, I should not have done that. That was a really dumb, stupid thing to do.
I think it was only now I'm starting to come to time. I have like a really this interesting relationship with women, because and maybe this explains why I was with and maybe my lack of getting girlfriends, but like I was raised by my mom, single mom. I'm kid number 3, but she has me late when she's 45, so they're all like whatever.
Older,
right now they're probably close to 50 too, like all siblings, no matter what. And when she would go to work, I would be with my grandma, and my aunt lived with my grandma too, so Titi would be there too. And then when I finally move out, I'm moving with my sister, so then I lived with her. And my dad left my mom when I was in the womb, and he would be there, and he did a lot of good for me. So I ain't even talking about it, but he would be there for me. But I just remember, anytime I would act bad, he'd send me right back to my mom, immediately. So I don't know, I hear all these stories and from you and then other people. So I just, and I feel like I got raised in a certain way and it was good. But I think someone pointed out, maybe because you didn't have like that father figure to do things for you, maybe that's why you were always like the way you were with women. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that because the whole the topic of women's being discussed. And I was like, yeah, I was kind of raised by them. And even now that I'm doing that sharing thing with the Daring Greatly with the book, I've been able to talk to both of my sisters about certain things. I'm still trying to be more and more honest. Still haven't with my brother though. And I'm like, I don't know why that is or like what that is, but like I've just found it easier with them than I have. And one of them, the one in New Jersey, is like we never even really grew up together, so I don't even know why. I can do it easier with her, I don't know.
That's awesome, but it's great to be able to connect. And who knows, with your brother, maybe you will. Just
at some point,
take some time, of course.
At some point I will.
That's why they call it a lifetime.
Yeah.
When people say, "Oh, I've got to be this by this age, and I've got to be here by this time," and I'm thinking, why?
Yeah.
It's a lifetime. We have a whole lifetime to be able to do those things. There's no.
At the same time, we can't wait forever, though.
Exactly, you can't.
No.
You cannot wait forever.
Yeah.
You got to light the fire underneath there and get it going. But. I think just sometimes people put so much pressure on themselves that they need to be at a certain level by a certain age.
Yeah, and I'm at this point. Yeah, now I'm like, I think that thought doesn't even occur no more. There is no. Good. It's kind of just like just keep getting better day by day.
Absolutely.
Here's the last one.
Okay. What's
the question I should have asked you but didn't? Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I think you pretty much asked me everything, and what you didn't ask me, I told you whether you wanted to hear it or not.
Yeah, no, and I like that. I leave it purposely open-ended so that, it ain't just me staring at. This ain't a real interview. It's like just kind of like, I like the conversation, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think my message that I wanted to get across today, I think I said it. You asked great questions. I mean, they were very thoughtful questions. I mean, anybody who's sitting across from you, I don't think would probably have, unless, I don't know, maybe they would, have the answer right off the tip of their tongue. You really made me think about
I'm trying to learn, man. I'm trying to
you really made me think
life.
About how I was going to answer that because, and the question about, what did you say about...
Which one?
What is your perfect day, or have you had a perfect day? What was that question again?
That one is, what is the perfect day? So.
Oh, what is the perfect day?
Yeah.
And see, I guess I took it as like, what is the perfect day now? When you started talking about your grandma and about the video games that she bought
so
you,
I
that's
usually
the perfect
mean
day?
to intend a forward, but like when you asked that back to me, that was just the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, because then I started thinking, well, you know what? In the past, I've had great days, but I guess perfect days for me, I don't know. I mean, like my kids graduating, my oldest son and my daughter graduating from nursing school, those were just moments that you just don't ever forget.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to mention that. But no, you asked me some incredible questions, very thought out questions.
Thank you. I'll take that. It's hard to take compliments, but I'll take it. It really is. I don't know what to do. I'm looking left and right, like, whatever. You know, like, I never got comfortable with that when I was in, like, my artist mode or something. If someone would come up to you after the show, I like, but you should. But it's work in progress, right?
It's a work in progress.
Work in progress. Well, where can anyone find you online?
Well,
and the businesses and
the businesses. So the cosmetic line is Buenrostro. It's BUENROSTRO by Epic, EPICC.com. Epic Vascular.
So it links back to even to the first business then. By saying Epic.
Yeah, by Epic, exactly. And then Epic Vascular is Epic Vascular. I think it's, gosh, I should know the website.
I don't know. Maybe it's someone else I should ask.
Maybe I should ask my husband. I don't remember.
There's a dial a friend.
Dial a friend. Let me call Chalet. Chalet, what is my website? I think
edit Epic, this out and post if you want, and then I'll just put the link there anyway.
I think it's epicvasculartx.com, I think. And then Blue Horizons Hospice.com.
Well, we'll have them all there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hopefully it's right, but we'll have them all there.
Okay, cool. So I'll find out for sure what they are because I don't.
Are you doing anything yet, like for you, like your own type of site or branding, or is that later when the book comes and then you'll have your own, maybe like in your name or social in your name? Are you doing that yet or not?
What do you mean,
so I guess so you're saying you want to spread your message.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to go on tour and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess at that point you'll have probably a website in your name.
Right.
And you'll have maybe like an Instagram in your name with whatever content. Do you have that yet or no?
I don't. I haven't named the book yet.
Okay.
Because there's so many things, so many names that I want to give it, but it has to be the right one. And I think that when that name of the book does come,
it will come from the stories you tell. It will come
because there's so many words.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be one of these like self-help books. That's not what this is about. This is about my journey and evolving and just helping other women get through similar situations. But whenever that name comes, that is what obviously is going to be the name of the website. That's probably going to be the name of the book tour. I see myself standing up there on stage and just motivating women, getting them through difficult things. So whatever that name of that book is going to be, that tour is it's all going to be connected. Mm-hmm. And you'll probably be one of the first people that I let know. That way we can reconnect on that. Yeah.
Please do.
Absolutely.
Last words.
Last words?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be yourself. Ever. Stand up for yourself. Always be kind to people. Stay away from the negativity. Surround yourself around amazing, incredible, like-minded people. And don't always look at life in a negative way for the negative things that have happened to you. Take them as lessons that are helping you grow to become a better person.
That's it. There we go.
I think that's it.
Thank you again for doing this.
Oh my gosh.
This was super awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're probably going to like the way I end it. Bake that chicken, smoke that turkey, boosh. There you go.